Welcome to Let's Talk Sports here on WYLN. I'm your host, Marty Burns. Joined this week by District 2, Class A, baseball champion coach, Ryan Jastremsky, and he's also the golf coach. We're going to talk about a myriad of things here on Let's Talk Sports with Coach Jastremsky. He's up next, right after this.
Hey guys, this is Ray Merrill from Blaze Alexander of Greater Hazleton, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. I hear stories there's no inventory out there. This is my back lot. We have over 100 Jeeps ready for immediate delivery, whether you're looking for a Renegade, a Cherokee, a Grand Cherokee. We've got them all. We have Ram trucks. Guys, if you're in the market for a Jeep, we are discounting them severely. Come on to Blaze Alexander at 508 Susquehanna Boulevard in Hazleton. And let me tell you something. We take the deals those other guys won't.
Get the care you need at the all-new ER at Lehigh Valley Hospital, Hazleton. Now twice the size, with a quick assessment process, advanced technology, and private treatment rooms. When it matters most, trust your partner in emergency care.
When you see news happening in your neighborhood, call WYLN News at 570-459-1869 or email us at news@WYLNTV.com or send us a message on social media through Facebook. WYLN, we're your local network.
There's no better place to shoot than Whitetail Preserve. Their skeet trap and sporting clay fields are professionally designed and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-455-4251 extension 1378 for more information. WYLN programming is online all the time. Visit our website at WYLNTV.com to check out archive shows and a live stream of our broadcasts. And don't forget to visit all of our social media pages for breaking news, weather, and sports. You can also head directly to our YouTube page for all our programming at youtube.com/WYLNTV35. Subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified every time there's a new show available online.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Sports here on WYLN. I'm your host, Marty Burns. Proud to have joining us this week from MMI, head golf coach, as well as district champion in 2021. We're coaching the baseball team, and I'm talking about none other than Ryan Jastremsky. Coach, thanks a lot for joining us this week.
Thanks for having me, Marty. Really appreciate it.
And before we get started, as we mentioned, the district championship and your senior group, and we'll get to them in a little bit. They really focused on, especially I believe Marcus Danchison was quoted in the Hazleton Standard Speaker talking about winning it as a freshman, losing a tough district championship as a sophomore. They were really looking forward to that junior season for a little redemption. COVID hits, there's no spring season. First of all, when that happened, what was the mood of your team?
Obviously, it was a huge letdown. Like you said, I think a lot of our players, me as the head coach, my staff, we all thought the 2020 team had a chance to really be special. This year's team ended up being special, don't get me wrong. I think we all thought that 2020 was going to be our best year, our best chance of really making noise. For as good as this year's team was, the 2020 team was going to be a little bit more complete, especially on the defensive side of the ball. We would have had three outstanding senior outfielders, senior catcher in A.J. Jordan, who's now playing at Marywood University. It would have allowed us to keep Kevin and Colin at the corners in the infield. Our middle infielder would have been much strong. We still would have had very good Marcus Danchison, who he was great as a sophomore. Right. His junior year he would have been great too. I think we would have just been a little more complete of a team, and capable of making a little bit more noise. We'll never know. It was obviously a huge letdown. Felt so bad for those seniors. That was the first group that I had at the school from 7th grade up. First on the mid-school team, and then when I became the varsity coach, they moved up with me. So it would have been really nice to see those guys through and let them have their senior year and see what they could have accomplished.
And I'm always a big one that's the thing I dislike the most about covering sports, when you see a senior athlete not have an opportunity to finish their senior campaign, whether boy or girl, however it is, illness, injury, that type of thing, and then COVID took it away from so many senior athletes. How hard was that initial discussion to those seniors that, hey, it's over?
One of the hardest things I've ever had to do, and it was just such a letdown to the whole program. It might sound funny, but it made it a little easier that you didn't have to do it in person, because everything we did from that point on was virtual. It was through a group chat or through a Zoom call or whatever it may be. If I had to get all those guys back in the same room again and look them in the eye and kind of tell them that it wasn't going to happen, that would have been much harder.
Right.
It was still hard the way it was, but yeah.
Yeah, that is very hard. And then this group that you had coming back, what was the off-season plan? Because at a year ago, nobody knew what to expect. So what was the off-season plan for the returning players?
Well, we didn't really have an off-season plan because we didn't know if we were going to have our season until late February of this year. The school board of directors and upper administration decided that only low-risk sports were going to be run in the fall and the winter. So the only two sports that got to run from fall 2020 or winter 2021 were golf and cross country. So, we didn't have much of an off-season program. It really was the kids' responsibility on their own to stay in shape, to get game ready, to get practice ready. So, if we got the okay to go ahead with the season, these kids would be ready to go. And I give the entire roster of kids all the credit in the world. They really did take that serious. They put the work in on their own. They knew what this team was capable of. We really felt like we were playing for the whole school. The kids that didn't get their seasons, the 2020 team that didn't get their season. We felt like we owed it to everybody to put our best foot forward from day one. So these kids really did put a lot of work in on their own to make sure we were ready to go.
And to step away from the baseball program, we also mentioned that you're also the golf coach at MMI, as you mentioned, one of the two teams that got to play before winter. How appreciative was your team just to get out there, to get out of the house and go and do something and be able to participate in a golf season? Yeah,
absolutely. They are very appreciative. They want to compete. They want to play the sport that they love. So it's again out there getting in the fresh air on the really nice golf courses that we're fortunate to get to play. And we had a good season. Division II of the Wyoming Valley Conference golf is it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. We're cursed. We're always in the it seems like we're in the tougher division and everything. But they really embrace the challenge of going out there, playing some good schools, some tough courses, and just getting to play golf and represent their school with pride.
Right. Now I'd be a little hesitant to take any scouting reports that you get from that amazing duo through the courses of Northeast PA, and I'm talking about Jackie Jastremsky and Tom Corral. I'd be a little hesitant on their scouting reports. But as we move forward and you get to that point where you find out you are going to have a baseball season, how did the kids come back? I know we talked about earlier about no off-season programs, so you really had to trust the kids. How did they come back? Were they pretty much game? It's pretty hard to get yourself in game shape by yourself, but were they pretty close to game ready? And what was their attitude heading into the season?
A lot of them were, because of just the work that they did on their own. And a lot of them play, travel ball, or they're getting private lessons. So, they had a facility they can go and do baseball-specific activities, so that when we had our first practice, they hit the ground running pretty good. It wasn't the whole roster. We had to really take baby steps with some of the guys. But the more advanced or ready guys, they understood that. So it was just, kind of mix and mash. Maybe one of the things about northeastern Pennsylvania is, you're not expected to be right out on the field right away, especially in Freeland. We had a couple weeks there where, we didn't have to really be on the field doing our full, practice kind of mode. We can kind of have our off-season program condensed into a week or 10 days and, get these guys ready so that when we got the okay to go on the field, we were ready to go.
And we'll talk about some specific playoff baseball in the next segment, but was there any concern with you and your staff that, and especially the seniors who are probably really chomping at the bit to get back out there after losing 2020, after having the bitter taste in their mouth in 2019, was there ever a concern that keeping them from not looking ahead to a district championship?
Not necessarily. We've kind of set the expectation that we're going to have short-term goals, intermediate goals, and long-term goals, and we're pretty good at keeping those separate. Long-term goal is always going to be win a district championship, and put ourselves in the best position to do that. In the short term, we want to win our next game. And our moderate goal, we that varies. Could be something about over the next 2 weeks we want to win X number of games, so on and so forth. And we really do a good job of keeping that separate. So the guys don't get lost in the big picture sometimes, or they don't just put their blinders on and get so narrow-minded that they're only focusing about the upcoming game. It's a journey. It's a journey through a long season. You've got to enjoy the ride. So the kids, they really enjoy that challenge.
And we're going to talk about that ride that this team took you on, especially that playoff run when we return here on Let's Talk Sports.
All Care Home Care, providing quality in home care since 1986. Call and see how their team of licensed physical therapists, skilled nurses, speech, and occupational therapists can provide you with exceptional service in the comfort of your own home. They also offer dietitian, home health aide, and medical social worker services. You have a choice in your health care. For safe, friendly, qualified care, call All Care Home Care today and let their team begin taking care of you and your loved ones.
Go hog wild for Iron Pigs baseball. WYLN is televising the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs live. America's favorite pastime on your local network, WYLN TV 35. See the stars of tomorrow at Coca-Cola Park. Don't miss any of the games here on WYLN TV 35. Visit WYLNTV.com for a complete Iron Pigs schedule. Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs on WYLN, your home for live sports.
Try brushing your pet's teeth. They don't like it. It's a pain. Introducing Chew Brush, the world's first self-brushing toothbrush for dogs with a toothbrush on the inside. Watch as they chew, they brush their own teeth. The Chew Brush cleans their teeth and gums in 3 ways. The nubs on the outside massage the gums. The tooth-shaped openings safely scrape away plaque and tartar, and the hidden bristles brush your pet's teeth clean while they play. The more they chew, the cleaner their teeth get. Look at this before and after. In just 5 days. Wow, what a difference. No more pain, bad breath, or expensive life-threatening treatments. Order Chew Brush today for only $14.99. We guarantee your pet will have whiter, brighter, healthier teeth and gums or your money back. Order now and you can double it. Just pay a separate fee. That's 2 Chew Brushes. Order now.
Call 1-800-851-6503. That's 1-800-851-6503 or visit getchewbrush.com. So call 1-800-851-6503 now.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
Follow us on our weekly journeys through the backstories of those paving NEPA toward a better future.
Each night we'll dig a little deeper into the lives and goals of our local leaders. So stay tuned for the end of our news as we learn more of those leading the way.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Sports here on WYLN. I'm Marty Burns, joined by Ryan Jastremsky from MMI, the golf coach and baseball coach. Specifically in this segment, we're going to talk baseball. And Coach, we had talked about it a few times, getting that elusive district championship that especially your senior group waited so long for. Talk about what this senior group meant to you.
They meant so much, just the work ethic that they have, the leaders that they've become, the young men that they are. It really was such an honor to be their coach and to be around them day in and day out and watch them grow on and off the field. Marcus Danchison, Kevin Mcnulty, Colin Williams, those are the three names everybody knows. They really put the team on their backs, all year long. Marcus is going to Lehigh University, to continue his baseball career and study. Where he'll be a pitcher. He's just, ever since he was in 7th grade, watching him pitch for our mid-school team, you knew he was going to be special on the mound. He had a great poise, good stuff, really just understands the game. Kevin Mcnulty works hard, harder than pretty much anybody I've ever been around. I mean, he's always doing something to either improve himself as a baseball player or as an athlete. Completely transformed himself over the 3 years in high school. From just a big kid to an athletic monster now that can do anything and everything. And Colin Williams, he didn't come to MMI until a sophomore, but despite that, he still was elected class president. It tells you a lot about what his peers think of him. Yeah. He's just a natural leader, and he really worked at his game too, and it became a big bat for us, hitting behind Marcus and Kevin. Threw some big innings on the mound for us too in relief. So
you get to that district championship game, and we talked about how this was so looked upon, especially by that senior group, because of what happened, not only 2019 but 2020. You come away with the 11-1 victory. That's a combination of good offense, good pitching, good defense, all around good win. Absolutely.
It was. We got a little slow start that day. We hadn't played in 14 days. And when you're playing 3 or 4 games a week, for 6 weeks, that's a tough layoff. We tried to, keep the guys fresh, but we knew there was going to be some rust, and there certainly was. We made 2 errors in the first inning that led to Susquehanna's run. And we had a slow, start at the, with the bats, first time through the lineup. But then the kids, they came alive. Another senior, Jimmy Kelly, had a couple big hits that game. The 3 core seniors really led us, and the defense was good from the second inning on. And like I said, good pitching. Marcus was on his game that day. He and Kevin have such a rapport, as a battery. They make it very easy.
And how special is it with that battery that we talk so much with some guy named Flanagan, but having a coach on the floor, when you can trust these two to basically call a game.
Absolutely. These guys have played so much baseball, through their travel organizations, through their time with the school. They've, like you said, it's like having another coach. They've experienced all the situations. They really understand hitters. They understand counts, what you should do, who you should attack, who you shouldn't. With stuff like Marcus, you can attack everybody, though. Mm-hmm. So, that's a nice luxury to have.
And the one thing I liked, it's a mind-boggling stat to me. In one of the previews of one of your state games, the Standard Speakers had Marcus at 15 walks to 116 strikeouts. That's amazing. I mean, you can constantly harp about throwing strikes. There's an example of success. 15 walks to 116 strikeouts.
There's no defense for a walk, and we say that almost every day in practice. We say that before every game. We want our guys being aggressive, attacking the strike zone, giving our defense a chance. When you make them earn it, with the bats, at least we have a chance to make a play. If you're going to go up there and walk guys, we can't do anything about it, in the field. So we want our guys being aggressive, attacking the strike zone, and these guys certainly can do that.
And then you head into states. You're not done yet. You go up against Greenwood, very successful program, and MMI gets a state victory. How special was that day?
So special, to make school history. Like you said, we were the first MMI team to win a state playoff game, and to do it against a team like Greenwood, who was the state runner-up 2 years ago. They've been to the state tournament on a consistent basis. Very well coached. Coach Sherman down there does a great job. We did it. I don't want to say convincingly, but we had a great start to the game. It was really, really tough conditions. It was 90-degree heat that day. That really took its toll on Marcus. Made us make a tough decision in the middle of the game. But we did it. The kids hung in there, and we got the job done.
And a lot of people know that I like to bust on them in that, but being able and we're going to round it off, I think it's close to 20 years, but we'll say 20 years. For me personally, to be able to be in the booth with my dad, Jim Burns, doing games throughout all the seasons, and it's made for a special run that we've had here in WYLN. Talking about your staff, you said we had a tough decision. I think a great picture here in the standard speaker when you defeated Greenwood, Jack Jastremsky hugging Carson Valkuski. How special has it been? And you could talk about the rest of your staff, but to have your dad with you along the ride.
So special, just because Dad's done everything for me, when it comes to, everything. My mom and dad, I can't thank them for every opportunity they ever gave me. And then, I got coaching, from Dad and Emmett, and Joe Flanagan. They're really the three guys that, really made me realize coaching is something I wanted to do and get into. So Dad and I, baseball's kind of like our thing. It's our bond, so to have him, there with me, it's really special. It means so much to me. And, the rest of our staff, Kirby Laputka, Michael Putka, another father-son duo. Just the four of us kind of, it's nice that we have that bond, as father and son. Kirby, he's always thinking. He always has ideas. He's like the thinker on the staff. Mike's the motivator. He gets the kids pumped up and fired up. Dad's, he's Dad. And we're fortunate to have a couple young guys too, and Charlie Karchner and Brandon Crockford. That they serve as kind of like the liaisons that they can still relate to the guys, and but at the same time think like a coach. So I'm just blessed, with the staff that I have at the school.
Now, please don't tell me that after some key victories, your dad didn't play Go Cubs Go.
Oh, of course. He played it before games, after games, whenever he could. He plays that song.
Is he upset with Coach Flanagan and I that because you mentioned Coach Thomas, we took one golf cart and we left your dad with Coach Thomas, and we'll just leave it that Coach Thomas took Coach Jastremsky on quite a ride the day that we're mentioning, but I hope your dad isn't mad at us for that.
No, he and Emmett go way back, and they were the staff on along with Jeff Drozda that won the 2014 district championship. That was the first district championship in school history. So Dad and Emmett, they are baseball buds for life.
Okay, we're going to talk about some of the MMI athletes that are still in the MMI school right after this.
This is Ray Merrill from Blaze Alexander, Greater Hazleton. I don't know where you're going to find a nice, good quality pre-owned truck. The word on the street is you can't find them anywhere. I'm sure they're out there somewhere. Did I tell you we're at Blaze Alexander, Greater Hazleton? And I'm sure if you look hard enough for a used truck and go to a nice dealership that has inventory, you'll be able to find a pretty good selection. But the word on the street is you can't find any. So why don't you come here to Blaze Alexander, Greater Hazleton and find out where we take the deals and have the trucks the other guys don't.
Nick Bolton here with the latest from Bell & Howell. We call them Tact Glasses. Inspired by the sunglasses worn by our heroes in uniform, Tact Glasses block blinding glare so well, invisible objects suddenly become visible. Enhance colors to give you vision as sharp as an eagle's and survive even the harshest conditions. Look, ordinary sunglasses just make things darker, which could be deadly in a tactical situation. Tact Glasses improve optical clarity so you can see clearly, even in low light. If you've never seen how this light filtering technology works, check this out. Nothing to see, right? But look again as we hold up our Tact Glasses. A colorful American eagle is revealed. Amazing!
Act now to get your Tact Glasses for just $19.99, and we'll even ship it to you free. So don't delay. Order yours today.
To order, call 1-800-287-3213. Again, that's 1-800-287-3213, or order online at trytactglasses.com.
What's on TV? Plenty. WYLN TV 35, the best in local programming.
Physical Therapy and Balance Centers. It's spelled different because we are different. Physical is unlike any therapy center you've been to before. If you're tired of living in pain, if you want to move better, overcome an injury or balance disorder, or you just want to improve your strength and conditioning, our highly skilled team of medical experts will help you get back to living the life you enjoy. New mentality, new body, new life. Get physical.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Sports. Have about 3 minutes left with MMI's Ryan Jastremsky. And Coach, in my own humble opinion, and we all know MMI is an academic powerhouse, but I don't think a lot of people give MMI enough credit for the quality of athletes you have. You know, some people may say, yeah, you know, you had a good run with seniors, but, you know, a freshman and Corey Nolasco was a big part of your team this year. I joked about seeing Coach Flanagan coach the junior high team, but getting to sit there and watch, there's talent there that's going to be coming in so many sports. You know, you're seeing MMI athletics starting to climb the ladder. Granted, it's a single A team, but there's still quality athletes at the school.
I think, you know, the kids in the area are starting to realize the opportunity that the school provides. And it's in the classroom, it's on the field, it's on the court, it's everywhere. You know, you get to challenge yourself, but you get the opportunity to do so. You know, if you come to MMI, you're going to be on a team. You know, it doesn't guarantee you playing time, you know, but you're going to be on a team. You're going to get to do whatever it is you want to do and be a part of something. And I think kids are starting to see that. They're starting to talk about that. You know, Corey Nolasco and Andrew Burns, you know, they stepped up for us big time. You know, when we had a senior, Robert Rinaldi, who was a big part of the team. Center fielder got hurt. You know, when he went down, we asked, you know, Corey stepped up, and you know he really did a great job for us. And Andrew Burns solidified our defense. You know, when we had to move Kevin behind the plate early in the season. So I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, that's just an example of, you know, you never know when you're going to get your shot at MMI, but you know most kids are going to get a shot at some point.
And we've got just under a minute. We talked about how this season was looked upon so much by your team. What do you think the team now thinks now that we're a little bit past that district championship?
You know, they'll be ready for next year. You know, the guys coming back. I think everybody's still, you know, enjoying, you know, what we accomplished this year. They moved on to their summer ball. You know, they're playing with their summer teams. They're just enjoying being in the middle of baseball season and getting to play and be kids. When school starts back up, you know, and I start to see these guys, you know, more often, you know, we'll start talking about next year and what they can expect and go from there.
Coach, half an hour has gone fast. Thank you so much for joining us
Thanks
this
for
week.
having me. I really appreciate it.
Congratulations on a great 2021.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
So for Coach Jastremsky, I'm Marty Burns saying so long. You've been watching Let's Talk Sports. We'll see you right back here next week.
You're watching WYLN TV 35,